You kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just remember. Just remember. Just remember. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds. And when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just remember. Just remember. Just remember. Just remember.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome into the Monster Energy NASCAR Racing League. My name is James Rouse, bringing you some action from the Glen this week, both right and left turns up for you here at Watkins Glen International. 2.42 mile, and it is a doozy of a track. If you've never seen racing here before, you are in for it. We're watching Dylan Herberton take some laps around the beautiful 78-degree temp right now, getting a lot of fresh air and beautiful sun and scenic sights here at the Glen. 54% humidity, partly cloudy with a 4-mile-per-hour wind. I know it's going to be absolutely awesome race here at the Glen. But what we're looking at right now, folks, is we are looking at qualifying. Electing to do a Formula One style active qualifying, which means everybody's on the track at the same time getting this thing ready, as we'll show you guys kind of where we are at. 8 drivers right now trying to take control of this thing. Dylan Herberton has the pole right now. He's got 4 laps in on those tires and just put down a pretty fast one, as he's going to actually get into the wall and decide to try again here. David Simcock's out on his own in the 22 machine. Trying to put down his first lap. As we are seeing some drivers have trouble here. Remember, these guys did come over from NASCAR Heat, and the Glen, the elevation changes, the technical spots that they have here, definitely trouble for some of these drivers, but they're going to figure it out. We're going to get them rolling One thing I do like to say, folks, is very much reach out to these sponsors, get them looked at as we go through the S's. Ooh, Zachary Mertez throwing that thing around. Fastest in practice. Let's take a look at those results in practice and show you guys kind of where everyone was at. Zachary Mertez will 10.8. Very respectable. Has not been able to touch that here in the qualifying session, but hopefully he will get there. So these was our practice results as we were watching. But overall right now, folks, excited to have you, excited to be here. Make sure you hit that like button and tell me who you're here to watch. Of course, we are live here on the 4th of October. All coming in here. Guys, how much time is left? Only 15 seconds left for these drivers to get a time down. Otherwise, they're going to be sitting in the cars getting ready to go to war here. 70 laps at the Glen. I could be wrong. It may actually be a lot less. Check my notes here. Because they're having some fun. So, stage break at the end of lap 10. I think it's actually probably going to be 40 laps here. We'll make sure we get that out to you guys. But so far, so good as we're seeing open qualifying finishing up. Zach Mertez does have the advantage to be on the pole starting out front, which is very important here. If you've not ever seen this, if you've not ever seen these guys or any iRacing happening at a road course, it has what's called open qualifying. We're waiting for somebody to finish laps, I think. We're going to have to advance that manually. We will see here, folks. But while we're here, let's go ahead and pull up Zachary Mertez, who looks like he has the pole position. Zach, man, congratulations on that.
Appreciate that, man. Thank you.
So I think we're waiting. I think iRacing thinks that someone else is qualifying. Might have to advance that session. But you had the fastest time in qualifying. You had the fastest time here in the practice as well. You got a lot of laps here at the Glen?
I mean, I put a couple laps in earlier today on the setup, and then just kind of figured out track conditions would be different, so I just kind of waited to do a little more practice. But car's dialed in. It's looking good. I think we're going to be able to have a fast piece right now.
Definitely. And I think I was looking at this. You've raced 3 races in this league, correct?
Yes, I've raced 3 races in this league.
And you've got 3 top 10s, 3 top 5s, and you got 3 wins here. How does that feel to come in and dominate?
Oh, it just feels great showing the colors and the representation for 4 Mile Productions, and hopefully we'll be able to get win number 4, get that top seed going into the playoffs going in a couple weeks.
All right, definitely. And the way it's looking on time, how important is consistency here at the Glen, especially with those local cautions?
Well, it's extremely important. You got to make sure that you're hitting your marks the entire time. You can't really just be waiting around for something to go wrong. It's just keeping the tires underneath you, not really sliding them too much, and just really being there at the end when it counts.
Definitely. Well, Zach, I know you have what it takes to make it happen here at the Glen, but 30 laps of heck. Hopefully you can take control and make this thing happen, brother. Good luck, and hopefully we'll be talking to you at the end of this thing.
Appreciate that, man. Thank you.
All right, we'll be sending you back to Silly Goose. So that was Zachary Mertez showing. Had a little talk with him, guys. If you're interested in stats and if you're you're a gambler, this guy is definitely one that I would keep an eye on. Like I said, he's 12th in points in that number 2 Chevy machine, but that's only because he came on. He got for 3 races. He's got 3 wins, 3 top 5s, 3 top 10s, obviously, with 9 playoff points already. He leads in playoff points and has the most laps led, second only to Dylan Hervitin there in the 36 machine. So something very interesting to watch for is Zachary Mertes. So, folks, again, let me know who you are rooting for in this thing. I know it's going to be a fun one to watch as they come around, taking their pace laps behind that Porsche road course pace car. Things are a little bit different here at the road course. We'll see what these drivers have to say about it and what they can do. It's going to be a long one. Look for the stage break lap number 10 as these drivers are ready, raring to go. Dylan Hervitin letting that Porsche know what he thinks about it. He says, get that little thing off the course. Big boys are here to play. These big Chevrolets and Fords, couple Toyotas, NASCAR stock cars in there. But again, shout out your driver in the chat. I feel like it's going to be important to keep an eye on some of these folks farther back in the field. Let me know who you're watching. You can definitely make that happen. As Zach Mertes getting the tires for him, he's going to be on the inside line, which is on the right here at the Watkins Glen, because that first turn is a right-hand turn. As that Porsche comes down pit road, we are going to get ready to go here. Starting it up is Zachary Mertes, getting it going as the 81 Taco Bell machine not too far behind, trying to help out here as we get into the heavy braking portion, make sure everybody gets along right. The one of Mason Connors gets around. The 45, that is Andrew Tenold. He collects a vehicle or two, and that's turn 1 at the Watkins Glen as Zachary Mertes takes it away. He's got a half-second gap on Mason Thompson. Curtis Ecker, 3rd position. Mason Connors trying to keep up there. Chris Isaacs in 5th. And then back there in the very back, Dylan Hervitin not with the great start. Starting outside did not help him at all. As we are rocking and rolling. Ryan Connors says, Massman. I think Ryan Connors might be here for Mason Connors. Currently in 4th. So this is what we're seeing with Watkins Glen and these drivers as Chris Isaacs takes the long way around to get around the last turn of the course. Second to last. So first things first, we have turn number 1. Downhill braking zone. Then we come out of turn number 1 into turn number 2. A little bit of a banked situation. Next thing we have is the S's for the back straightaway. In the bus stop. Bus stop exit there, and then last but not least, the carousel. So that's what we're going to see, folks. And again, like Zachary Mertes said earlier, it is all about consistency. No cautions here, as we saw with Mr. Simcox. He kind of decided to take it down pit road, didn't want anything to do with it. Don't disagree with him. And have a good points day regardless because of the starting park. But Mason Thompson has really shown that he has business being here as well. These next-gen cars are easier to handle than the Gen 6s that we used to have. These current gen cup cars, I guess you could call them now, but a little bit different. They've got that rear diffuser, a little bit more sophisticated spoilers up front and in back. Wider tires, disc brakes, big old brakes, and a lot more air getting to those brakes as well. So you're going to be able to throw these things around a little bit better than you would otherwise in the Gen 6 cars. The other thing that's huge about these machines is they have that rear axle is an independent rear suspension. So I said rear axle. There is no rear axle in these machines, as Mason Connors fighting Curtis Ecker, trying to get some positions. These cars have an independent rear suspension, which means they got 2 A-arms back there, or whatever you want to call them. So the left and right of the rear of these machines can work a lot more and do a lot more for you in the live axle of the Gen 6s. Straight axle, a little bit harder to apply that power down, but here in these machines, it's definitely easier to drive. Bill English, Andrew Tennell, David Seamcox, they've taken it down pit road. I don't think they want much to do with this machine, but Zachary Mertz, as he thought he was going to walk away with it, he's got Mason Thompson behind him in the rearview mirror. He says it's not going to be easy for you, Zach. Mason in here, really trying to be aggressive. We're on lap 4 of 30. What you want to do, make that guy in front of you realize where you are. Make him remember that you're there while you're coming into these braking zones, because road courses are a little bit different than the oval. It's hard to pass at road courses because each turn has an optimal line that these drivers are trying to make. And it's very hard to set up passes here. So what the 81 of Mason Thompson's doing right now is he's just driving behind. He wants to let the O2 know, hey, I'm here. I'm here, and you're going to have to beat me and drive perfectly. And he's trying to get into the O2's head and make him make a mistake. Make him take a turn wide, make him brake at the wrong time, etc. Send him wide. The thing you don't want to do if you're at Mason Thompson is get in your own head. Because there we go. It kind of pops out at the wrong time there. Unable to make something happen. So if you're the 81, as well as like Mason Connors is back there battling, now a 3-way battle, you want to just ride behind Zachary Mertz for a little bit. Let him make that mistake. As they come to the stage, is going to come at 20 laps to go. Look at this battle though. Curtis Ecker, Mason Connors, Dylan Herberton. Dylan, if you remember, qualified in that outside position in second place. Now these three have something to sort out. Dylan has to slow down a little bit to let these guys figure it out. Don't want to turn a 2-car incident into a 3-car as we're racing down the front stretch. Give it to Mason Connors as the 36 has the advantage. He's on that inside line and coming into turn number 1. Able to make that happen. The crossover not there for the 1 machine. Has to check up. You can't go through him. Up in front of him, battle for the lead. Still hot and heavy. Zachary Mertz has his hands full with Mason Thompson. As this is the view he's looking for. You can tell Mason does not need to overdrive that machine. In the rear view. Keep an eye on him. Go from there. On board the nose. Mason Thompson. A lot of movement in that 81 machine. He is all in the rear view mirror of Zachary Mertz. Back in the back, they've sorted this out. Curtis Ecker, Mason Connors, they have definitely figured that out. Oh, Mason Thompson goes to outbrake. The O2 does so, but the O2 going to have the inside line here into the right-hand turn. As guys, I'm going to, let's go turn it up. This has been absolutely, let's watch this battle and turn it up. All right, folks, I apologize for that extended turn up, but we are back here. Zachary Mertez still in the lead so far. A little bit of a checkup at lap 7, but with 8 laps to go, look at Zach using every lane available, trying to pass the slower car of Ryan Douglas. Not sure what's going on with that machine, possibly engine failure. Curtis Ecker, Mason Connors, they still not figured their thing out. Dylan Herverton trying to wake his way up. I don't know what's happening with the 11 machine. I believe he may have not been blipping that transmission as much as he needed to. Again, guys, shout out your favorite drivers. Let's hear it. We already got one for Mason Thompson, or I'm sorry, Mason Connors in the NRA 1 mobile. Toyota. But these guys still haven't figured this out. Stage break incoming at lap number 10. So at the conclusion of lap number 10, these guys gonna have to have this thing figured out. Just look at how close they're getting. The O2 is not going to make it happen on the outside. He's going to have a run here, but he's got to get in front of Mertez. This is what's the really hard thing about this racing at road courses. You may have that run on the outside, but there's a couple right-handers coming up that you're going to have to deal with. Watkins Glen is very right-hand turn heavy. You see here the lefts are very hard to make a set up a pass for us. There we go. Caution is going to come out. Somebody better tell these two they are racing hard to try and get something. But Dylan Herverton, he's definitely happy to start that because he's going to be on the inside line on the restart. And that's where he lost his position to begin with and had to battle with Ecker and Connors. Now we play the waiting game. 20 laps to go. Let's go ahead and run to commercial.
drivers that took time, all of them within 3.5 tenths of each other tonight is going to be a very closely competitive race.
As the field works its way out of the 3-4 complex, the only thing that's left to say is wipe the visor, adjust the 5-point safety harness, because race fans, it's showtime!
Amazing looking cars already. Green flag will fly.
Well, oh, the rocket! Well, one thing that you're going to see at this track that we haven't seen the last few weeks is a surface that's multi-group. I think this is the first multi-group surface we're going to have.
After an amazing race at Daytona, we now come to the West Coast and Auto Club Speedway in Fontana, California for the second round of the Way She Goes Racing League Cup Series.
All right, folks, still under caution here at the Glen. Takes a couple more of those formation laps to get rolling here. They're working to find a pace car. There it is. Like Ryan Douglas going to try and take the wave around, get a couple of his laps back. As we already talked to Zach, so let's talk to now. Let's get Dylan Herberton in here. Dylan, tough go of it. Tough go of it on the outside lane. That's where you find yourself again.
I know.
Are we gonna make any adjustments this time around to try and avoid on back and having to battle?
Oh man, you know, all it was a simple mistake I made. It just I would have had it fine. I was looking at Zach, and I wasn't really looking at where I was positioned out on the track, and I got into the throttle too hard on the rumble strips. And if anybody's ever driven this car around Watkins Glen, rumble strips are not your best friend on cold tires, nor you know, just in general, I guess sometimes they just don't work out. So I hope that I can do it a little bit better this time. I think he'll probably be, as I'm being told, conservative down into turn 1 by my teammate Mason, who is riding behind him. So hopefully I can get an advantage here and take it from him this time. If not, at least be there so that I have a chance to win this thing. And I need to at least finish top 3. It'd be nice.
Definitely. I know we're rooting for you as we have the one to go here. But Dylan, again, man, good luck into turn 1 here. And hopefully you can be up there. It was a wild battle, you and the teammate.
I know, yeah. Hopefully I can be. And should have ran my Zippo paint scheme tonight, man. This is the Zippo home track, man. I didn't even think of it. So It
Well-
sucked, but hopefully we'll put Advanced Auto Parts 36 in victory lane. How about that?
Definitely. I hope to see it, brother. Again, good luck, and hopefully we'll talk to you at the end of the race.
All right, appreciate it, man. We'll see you.
That was Dylan Irvington coming at you live. Starting on the outside, you're going to try and get a better restart this time around. Very hard to restart here at the Glen because usually these guys have their restart and they're used to going full throttle into turn one, but now it's different. They got to get going, hopefully get a good start, and then turn around and throw on the brakes into the hard right-hand turn down the turn number one. So 17 laps to go, 16 when they get the green. Definitely something to keep an eye on here. As the pace car going to be coming around the corner. Barry the flag man has that green flag in the air, ready to wave. And here we go, getting to the Geico restart zone. They are getting going. Huge jump by Zachary Mertez. Everybody else just has to try and keep up. As look at Mason Thompson in the 81 machine. As the 02 locks him up, locks up the front right, and then the 36 gets a little loose. Loose into turn number one, definitely hurt the 36. Now he's got Curtis Ecker and Mason Connors on the back end. With such a quick race, you've got to take the hit. No, the 1 and the 19 get into each other. The 1 back up into Chris Isaacs. Mason still doesn't have it back. Very unfortunate for Mason Connors. The broadcaster's curse turned over to the fans. But up front, Zachary Mertez, Dylan Herviton, and Chris Isaacs going to try and recover from that. Bill English battling with Curtis Ecker, the 19 machine. So let's take a look at what went on there with Mason Connors. So here it was, just sent it. The 19 came down and he went a little bit up. Racing deal, but then just unable, almost gathered it up too good there. Then up into the top of the 3, gets bounced around. Very unfortunate for the 1 machine. There's another look. Just that right-hand turn came up a little bit too soon. That was all she wrote, ladies and gentlemen. Now Zachary Mertez, the 02, stepping out from the 81 of Mason Thompson. Irvington now is in a better position to battle. Just got to make it up there. Folks, be sure to like the stream. Well, let's talk about some sponsors. First things first, Admin Box. adminboxx.com. You can head over to their website, find some button boxes that are pre-programmed, pre-controlled with the iRacing commands. Absolutely critical if you are a race car driver or an admin that wants to get a little bit extra out of your setup. You might as well. With everything going on in the iRacing setup, wheels and pedals, you're looking at about $500 if you do it cheap, $1,000 if you do it right. Then with the iRacing service, it costs you about $100 a year. Each track is about $15. But I tell you what, these admin boxes, very, very affordable compared to all your other equipment. You can head over to adminbox.com and find out what people are saying about these things. I'm telling you, you are not going to regret it. Get one of these admin boxes and they can save you some money if you use code MENRL at checkout. I believe it is MENRL-box for $19 off at checkoff. That's MENRL-BOXX for one of those machines, and that's more than 10% off on these guys. Definitely worth it to go and give your admin the Christmas gift he deserves, he or she deserves for coming in here. So now Mason Connors is in the battle for the lead, but not really in a way he wanted to be. He's a fast car, but he's got Zachary Mertez and Mason Thompson behind him. They are the leaders But no obligation to get out of the way for these guys. That's not what he's here for. He's got to improve his position and try and hope to not go a lap down. Just in case anything wild happens, he's going to make these drivers get by him. What could have been here, folks, as Mason Thompson is just all over the back bumper of the O2, and it's just going to get worse as they approach. Look at that. Mason Connors doing the sportsman thing. He's going to go high on that turn and let everybody by. This putt's for you, Mason Connors, man. Do not have to do that. Under no obligation to get out of the way for the leaders, but he is. He's going to let them go. Not have to affect anybody's race, and the 81 just doesn't. He is all over the O2. Look at that, how close these drivers are getting. I don't know if Mason Thompson is listening to us here, but biggest thing, guys, as we watch these battles form up, Billy English trying to catch Curtis Ecker, but it doesn't get any better than this, folks. That's why I'm focusing on it so much. Mason Thompson is not going to get around the O2 in any meaningful way here, other than just he's got to be aggressive, but he's got to do it right. Mason Thompson has got to follow, make sure he's hitting his marks. Can't have that. That's going to be definitely cut the course there. He's going to have a slowdown penalty. But as I was saying, the 81 just has to make his marks. Worry about your race, not anything else. Get in the rearview mirror of Zach Martez. Make him make a mistake because he's scared of you. If you want to push him, you want to send him, you want to make sure you do it with enough time where he does not able to retaliate. Because if you do it now, guess what? He's going to catch back up to you, and you're going to have what's coming to you in a better position. It's kind of like chess. You want to block your opponents when you have the opportunity to make a run. You don't want to do it too early here. It's Bill English and Curtis Ecker going to be battling. Irvington coming down pit road. Not sure what's going on with that. Didn't have to. Maybe a pass-through penalty. Do some looking, folks. No pass-through penalty, so not sure what Dylan's doing there. He got some fuel. If it's going to be necessary. 11 laps to go. But that's why they're in the car and I'm in the broadcast booth, because a lot of the times strategy stuff is pretty lost on me, especially if I don't know everything going on in the car. But Zach Martez, Mason Thompson, about 19 seconds ahead of Bill English and Curtis Ecker. Did complete that pass for number 3. Let's take a look at what a pass looks like here at the Glen on the restart. So here it is, Bill English in the 52 Harley-Davidson Ford. There you go. Curtis Ecker just goes wide, and it's a drag race. And then watch, he's going to outbrake him here. He's going to throw the brakes on way later, possibly lock him up, making this turn. A little bit of lockup there, but that's a textbook outbrake. What he did is he got to the bottom of the track, and he knew he was going to have to brake a little bit harder to make the turn, but you put your car there because you make the other driver have to go through you if they're going to pass you. So speaking of here, Mason Thompson's going to have another opportunity to get at Zach Martez. This is a hard position to be in if you're Mason Thompson. You've got to stay behind the guy. You've got to figure out where you're faster than him or her and use that to your advantage if you're going to pass clean. As we must have to have a little bit of a fuel break here. We're going to have to go in for fuel as there's Mason Thompson coming down pit road. Dylan Herviton just running laps. Already came down the second time. Excuse me. Allergies or something going on here. Let's take a look at the race setups that we're going to find. the announcement. Seen it. It's okay. But must have to come down for come down for fuel is now Zachary Mertez coming down. So that's going to change things. Bill English is going to lead a lap. He's going to get a bonus point. Mason Thompson. He has not came down pit road yet. Or he has. He came down lap 21. He's actually going to come out in front of Mason Thompson. Let's see here. Yes, Zachary Mertez comes down in front of Mason Thompson, and now we're back right where we left off. Irviton came in at lap 19. He's about 10 seconds back, so the battle did not benefit Dylan. As Bill English has the leaders coming up on him, he's going to try and fight around to get a lap led in this mug. Got to keep his composure as they are battling already. You can see it in the rearview mirror. Mason Thompson hammer and tongs at it with Zachary Mertez. He's got so much speed, and that's the thing about the Glen. You can have all the speed in the world, but the way the passing lanes work here, you've either got to move somebody or let them make a mistake. And I've said it over and over again. These cars are too tight to guarantee that somebody's not going to catch you. This setup is looking like it's very competitive. As Bill English is going to pass the checkered line first there. He is going to get credited with a lap led. So to focus on the 52 machine there. So here comes Mertez. Second half back. Got about 15 seconds to the good. As we get the absolutely awesome drone camera footage here. See these passes. They're good. There goes the 02 on the 62 of Bill English. Both drivers trying to get by. Unfortunately, the 81 put in a little bit more awkward position, not able to arc into that turn the way he wanted to. That's the battle, but let's do a check-in on where everybody's at right now. Zach Mertez is there up front. Mason Thompson, second position. Dylan Herviton having to kind of fight from the back here in third. Bill English just came down pit road. Going to be in fourth position. Curtis Ecker, that 19 machine. Fifth. Jason Connors trying to recover from his incident earlier. Not doing too bad of a job, honestly. Chris Isaacs in seventh. Ryan Douglas plugging away in 8th position. Andrew Tinold and David Simcox have called it early. I want to see if they're in here actually. They are not. It's okay. Again, folks, remember to like the stream and shout out your driver. I want to hear who they are so I can focus on them. Long spread out race like this, it definitely helps me out. Otherwise, we'll watch this battle as the 81 is just beating the door down of the 02. Go on board with Mason Thompson and kind of see the side of the helmet what we're working on here and why it's so hard if you're in the 2 position not to just drive through, because look at this. He gets so close and he wants to go faster, just that vehicle's up in front of him. He's got to find a way to get around him to where he can take advantage here. So let's dissect this again, folks. Once we get to that green flag, I'm going to go back into the roll bar and kind of talk about a little bit what we're looking at, just because I got nothing else to talk about, because this is an absolutely amazing battle up here for the lead. That was Chris Isaacson head. So here we go, coming down the front stretch. If you're going to make a pass here, you're going to want to get far right and out-brake the O2 machine like we saw the pass for third that Bill English made. So here we go, but he's going to follow him around here. Follow him around, keep trying to make a mistake. With 4 laps to go, you're pretty much just wanting to get in that rear view mirror, run the driver's line if you can't get around. Because your best options are that turn number 1. Here it's a little too wide. You can't outbrake somebody if you don't have to brake. We got one more hard left turn coming up. This is going to be a right heading into the bus stop. Can't pass at the bus stop. Very, very hard to pass at the bus stop, folks, because you've got 4 turns right next to each other. And that's one of the things, like I said, about Watkins Glen that's so hard is these long sweeping turns. You can get a run out here, but you want to get to that left side of that vehicle because the next turn is going to be a hard left turn. You can outbrake here, but you've got to beat him to that inside line. Otherwise, you're just going to be playing catch up. As we see here, braking zone, heading into it. Your last chance to pass here, braking zone. Get to the inside as much as you can, but if they're blocking that lane, you've got to accelerate and try and keep that thing as low as you can. Try and get to the inside. Set up for this pass right here. There we go, going for the outbreak. Does he have it? He does not. O2, there it is. There's the tap. The O2 decided to stop him. That's what happens when you defend. We're coming into another right-hand turn. Big right-hander, so the advantage is to the inside line. Coming to the left, it says, oh, the O2 and the 81 get together again. It is not a clean pass yet. Oh, very unfortunate, but we got still battling heading into the bus stop. That's what I was talking about, folks. If you're going to have to outbrake, you have to commit. You have to let it happen. You have to go full throttle until the very last possible moment on that inside line, and if the O2 or the guy in front of you is going to decide to stop that outbrake, you're going to have to, you're already committed. It's not on you at that point. It's here we go, left-hand turn. Coming to 2 laps to go. I'm going to be honest with you, folks. I was not expecting this much of a battle. As here comes the crossover. The 81 going to try and get to the inside of the O2 down the front stretch. There it is. Picture perfect pass, but he's got to stay there. You got to think the O2's looking for the break. He's going to have to cross over into turn 1. There it is, the 81 perfectly done, out-braking the O2 into turn number 1, but now he's on the defensive. Mason Thompson has been all over the back bumper of Zachary Mertez to this point. Now he is in the hot seat. He's got a rear view mirror full of Zachary Mertez. He's the one who now has to make 0 mistakes for 2 more laps, as he's going to have to defend these lines the best that he can. He hasn't had to do it yet. Well, you see, the 81 has been in the back seat of these things, so he hasn't had to drive a very defensive line, and Zach Mertez is the kind of guy who knows when to take advantage if you're going to drive right. Here's the difference, folks. If you're the 81, if you're in this first position, you're not going to beat the guy behind you by being fast. You're going to have to beat him by being defensive, make him drive through you, make him outdrive you. You absolutely cannot get beat into turn number 4. There's the outbreak. They touch the O2 and the 81. Too soon, possibly. Now we're seeing a picture-perfect copy of what we had in the last lap. So final lap here, the 81 and the O2. The O2 did not commit enough. That was your best opportunity. Can the 81 clear into the right-hand turn here of turn number 2? He can. O2's not going to have many more chances left here. Zachary Mertez got to be thinking he's got to get to the rear of that 81 machine. Can he make something happen? Only a couple more options left to do it. It's not going to happen here at the bus stop, folks. If you're going to do it right, it's going to happen right coming out of turn number 11, the last turn in the racetrack. As the 81 leaves the door open, He left the door open for the 0-2, but not enough. Not enough as the bump comes as they come down the final stretch before they get to turns number 10 and 11 here. Left-hand turn. See if Zachary Mertez is going to try and take it away here. No, he's not. Looking for the crossover down the backstretch. He's coming in for a hard break. Gotta get this turn perfect. It's not going to happen. Checkered flag is in the air. Mason Thompson is going to take it away here at Watkins Glen with 2 laps left to go. The move that took it happened in turn 1 on lap 28. Ladies and gentlemen, what a finish. These guys battling for an hour back to back, front and center in front of you guys. But talking about other folks, Dylan Herberton coming across the line. Bill English has Curtis Ecker behind him. 2-second gap, not really much that Curtis can do to get up there and touch him. They're going to finish it out. Very good run by the 52, Bill English. Chris Ecker coming around. Checkered flag is out. Everybody seems to have crossed the line. Last one to do so is going to be Mason Connors. Ladies and gentlemen, this race is in the books. Mason Thompson, what an absolute blast that was to watch. Wow. So here it was. He's going to burn it down the front stretch as he deserves to do. Zach Mertez trying to make it 4 for 4. Not going to happen. Not today, says Mason Thompson in the 81. Love to see it. Awesome job, Mason. Let's go ahead and get our race winner in here, Mason Thompson. Man, I could have swore you were listening to the broadcast because I was saying if it's going to happen, it's got to happen now. What was it like chasing down the 0-2?
Dude, that was the funnest I've ever like, honestly, like, hands down the best race I've had on this sim, like, ever. Like, especially on a road course. Like, normally you can't get that type of racing, but like, that was awesome. Like, and I tried my hardest. I was trying so hard not to get into him, but I knew the only way I could was to just, because that's not how I race. I don't wreck people to win. I mean, or bump. I don't even bump out of the way. If I want to win and pass you, I'm gonna pass you fair and square. And I tried my hardest, but I mean, I knew the only way I was gonna be able to do it. I know it was fast enough. I just was a matter of getting around him, and I saw my opportunity going in the one right there and capitalized on it.
Definitely. We saw you tested it out lap 28 a couple times coming into one. And I mean, if you have a chance to go back and watch the broadcast, the whole time I was saying, Mason, just be calm. Make sure you can stay behind him, make a mistake, and then your chance is going to come in turn 1. And that is the way it happened. Textbook outbreaking going into turn number 1. Were you hoping for the crossover that whole time coming out of turn 11 and getting that inside run?
I mean, I know. I think I tried it 2 times before the stage, and it kind of worked. It's just he had better drive off, and then I tried at lap 28, but my rear tires were like shot. So when I got back on the gas, they just I got loose, so I had to let off a little bit. But I mean, yeah, I mean, that was I feel like it's the only clean place I could have done it was 11, because I knew he could get in the corner a lot harder, but he'd run a little wider than me, and I knew I could get down below him and cross him over. So, but yeah, it just worked out perfectly.
Definitely, and man, it was an absolute blast to watch. Luckily, it's a short race because I don't think I could have taken too much more of that.
Yeah, I don't think my heart could have handled that. My heart was racing, dude. That was awesome. It was a blast.
Definitely, and so let's talk about this. Not the only reason. The only reason is you're an awesome driver. That's why you got it. But one of the things that helped you get here was that restart and the teammate Dylan Herberton having the issues. How important were these restarts on that inside lane to be clean and get through turn 1 at the green flag and the stage break?
Well, for me, my concern is getting ran over from somebody in the back, and that's just not this league, just like any official hosted race here, anything at this track. I mean, sometimes somebody will just overcook it, especially in coming to green because you're not going as fast as you normally would when you're at pace, and so it's easy to like misjudge break. And so just that's my biggest concern going into one on restarts is getting run over. But I mean, after everybody funnels through, you kind of want to be able to get the power down first. And I mean, sometimes I mean, most of the time actually the outside is the preferred start because you can swoop it in and you can kind of pinch the guy down. But I mean, the inside also just because you can kind of run the guy wide. Which I mean, on both restarts, I didn't have any on the inside because my teammate spun out or got loose both times on the curves. But yeah, restarts were definitely a major part in keeping me up there.
Definitely. Well, I know the race win well celebrated for you. I know looking at points here, it's going to be super important moving forward. Yourself, you were in second. This one's definitely going to help you out, but of course Dylan in third. He's a hard man to beat. But you got the third race win. Now you're tied with Zach. As far as that's concerned, how important is that momentum going into playoffs in a couple weeks?
Oh, it's super important. Just lets me know I can run up with the big dogs or the guys like Zach and Dylan and whoever else. But yeah, it's a big boost of confidence.
Definitely. Well, of course you got T-Bell on the car right now, but tell us who gets it done for you, and who helps you get up here and get these wins.
Well, this isn't really somebody who helps me, but I just want to give a shout out to Zachary, man. He raced me clean when I got by him those last 2 laps. He got into me a little bit, but I don't blame him because I got into him too. But besides that, I mean, that was just so much fun battling back and forth with him. And I guess shout out to my teammates too. They were cheering me on in the voice chat. So
Definitely. Well, again, Mason, congratulations, and hopefully we'll talk to you at the end of the next week at Nashville, I believe.
ooh, I'm excited about that. Looking forward to it.
Absolutely. Well, sir, again, congratulations, and good luck moving forward.
Yep, 10-4. Thank you.
All right, next we have Zachary Mertes. Hey, man, hats off to you. Absolutely great run. Led the most laps, but when it counted, the gentleman thing to do, no reckon. Tell us about that last couple laps there.
I mean, heck, man. I'm sure Mason said the same thing, but that was an absolutely stellar race. If I had to lose one, that's one way to lose it. That's the best way to lose it. Clean, hard racing, just absolute mad respect to Mason Thompson and his entire racecraft. He did absolutely amazing. He was rotating a lot better through center of corners than I was. I was having just a little bit of trouble. I think he just saved better tires than I did. And I made a few setup adjustments that really helped me overall in the short run. I was able to really work with it when it came to the long run, but overall, he just had the better car. And honestly, it was just balls to the wall, absolute flat out racing. And that's the way you want to do it. And I hope that everyone watching tonight tuned into an amazing show because that's probably the most fun I've ever had racing on Watkins Glen. But I mean, congratulations to Mason. He drove an absolutely stellar race. I did everything I could. We got the stage win, of course, fighting Mason back to the line for it. We beat him off pit road on pit strategy. He took fuel only, just like we did. It was just risky strategy calls to try and keep the track position, and it paid off in the end. But ultimately, it just came down to racing, and sometimes it's just the way you got to finish it. And I don't even feel bad about it. I led the most laps. I probably didn't have the fastest lap, but I collected at least maximum stage points. And, you want to win a race when you do all that stuff, but in the end, it's just respect. That's really all it comes down to. I wanted to win it, but I did not mind losing to Mason because it felt right. After hard racing like that, what do you expect?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, somebody follows you for 30 laps and doesn't send you, I think the least you can do is give them that last lap clean. But I mean, so let's talk about it. You had a chance. You set him up on the white flag coming into turn one, but just unable to outbrake or into turn one. What was going on in the car, or was it a mental thought to just kind of, hey, I don't want to wreck us both out here?
Well, honestly, and I feel like you can back me up on this one. I was thinking about 3 corners ahead, just thinking about what move I could do. We got onto the front stretch and we were side by side, so I'm like, okay, I can do the switchback move that I did early on in the race, and I can try to set him up going into the S's. And it didn't work out in my favor, and I just kind of overdrove it through the uphill. The uphill is the part that I was really struggling. He was so much better than me in the uphill, and it was hard to keep up with him there. And I was having to throw defensive moves a lot, and he just was able to capitalize on that. But, really, it was more, I'm going to agree with you, it was more a bit of a mental thing, trying to push. You got that white flag out, you got one more lap to try and make something happen. And, it's the mindset of you got to get back to it or you're not going to get another chance. So you need to push, but you got to do it smart. And I think I just messed up a little bit there. I came off the wheel after the checkered flag. I was shaking. My eyes were watering. I was not blinking. And someone who drives professionally, that's not exactly the best habit to have. It's something that I've worked to break. And, I've been doing a good job, but that last 2 laps, I was just completely committed. No blinking, full focus. And, it's really difficult for me to try and break my habits, but I've done a lot of great work to do that. And, I was able to hold close to him on that last lap, but ultimately we just didn't have it in us.
Definitely. Well, I mean, it was an absolute blast to watch, and moments like this is why I broadcast, and I'm sure why you guys get in the sim, because that was an absolutely amazing race, great sportsmanship, great racecraft there. But Zachary, tell me who you got on the car and who you want to shout out in that 02 Chevrolet.
I got to thank Andy McCuster for just giving me his full support and having me run his colors, run his logos on this car. I got to thank Butler Built Seats, the Mohawk Foundation, Burning River Radio, all the partners that make it happen, everyone really chips in to be able to make things happen. And I did say last week that I had some exciting news. Per Real Life Racing, actually, I have been accepted into the second round of applications for the PT Autosport Aspiring Driver Shootout. I am currently waiting to hear back. I will know by October 15th if I've been fully accepted to the third round of 8 applicants. We beat out 800 other applicants. And if I get accepted, I'm hopeful. I'm really hopeful that we get accepted. If we get accepted, we'll be going up to New Jersey Motorsport Park from the 7th to the 9th in November. Be racing Miatas, and so long as I win out of the 8 drivers, I will be signed on to PT Autosport for 2 seasons in the Porsche Cup car for 2023 and 2024, and it's just an exciting opportunity. I can't thank PT Autosport enough for, accepting me into the second round, and I hope that if anyone's watching out there, and please, anyone watching on the YouTube broadcast, use the hashtag Aspiring Driver Shootout, tag PT Autosport on Instagram. We got to show them that we're being competitive, that we're a good driver to be able to fit for this program. And I just want to say thank you to PT Autosport again for accepting me into the second round. And I look forward to being able to work with them in the future.
Hey, that is awesome, Zach. Give us that hashtag one more time.
Hashtag Aspiring Driver Shootout. Get it out there on Instagram, Twitter, everywhere you can. Just promote it. And if you want to tag me on Instagram, Zachary Mertis _racing, or my handle on Twitter, Mertis Racing. That's MERTESRACING.
That is awesome, man. Again, congratulations. I know if they watch anything from this race, that is going to be absolutely a glaring resume for racecraft. So, brother, again, congratulations and good luck moving into the next round of that.
Thank you, and thank you so much for the great broadcast.
All right, so last but definitely not least here, Dylan Herviton didn't fall your way on the restarts, but able to recover and get the third place finish. Real quick, what does it mean for you here at the Glen to come in third place and have a good points night?
It's pretty good. I I really wish I was winning because this is my home track and it would have been cool. But nonetheless, third place is good. I feel like that's probably where I was going to finish anyways. Those guys were a little bit faster than me. I knew Zach was faster than me both in qualifying and practice, but Mason came in kind of late, and I knew that he was going to be fast anyways, or that he would figure it out. So I just made too many mistakes and ultimately cost us. So that's kind of it. Just move on to next week, and Nashville's a pretty good track for me, so I'll try to go win that.
Well, you're talking like you lost the race, bro. Good points run, and still in first on points, and still doing well in the Nashville Super Speedway. How important is this momentum and all of these top threes and all of these top tens you've got for points heading into what will essentially be the playoffs here in a couple weeks?
Yeah, it's good for me. It's I don't know if the regular season champ gets bonus points or not, but either way,
You get
it'll
bonus
be
points
good.
from me in my heart.
Okay, well that's good. That's good. Either way, though, yeah, I've worked all season long to try to get the regular season championship. So even if at the end of the year I don't walk away with the real championship, I did walk away with the regular season championship, and at the end of the day, that's all that really matters. But we got a long time to think about that, and kind of keep getting our cars better. And I just I hope that the points that I have now and the consistency I've had is gonna carry into the playoffs, and hopefully, I can be on a more level playing field. Like I said, I've been making a lot of mistakes, and let these guys give them a run for their money, and show them where the 36 car is supposed to be. I haven't even won yet this season, and and it's like I have no idea why or what's going on. I've had the worst luck, but I can't always finish this good without winning at least one, right?
Well, you know what? You'd rather have it at the end of the season than right at the beginning for sure. But Dylan, tell us who gets it done for you on that 36 advanced auto parts machine.
Yeah, I got to thank everybody at Dylan Harberton Racing, myself, of course, and my teammates. Mason was really helpful in just helping me out with Zach. I felt like I would have been able to hang with them, and I kind of wish I didn't make that mistake through the bus stop because at the end of the race, I think with like 5 to go, I was like 12 seconds back, and by the time we crossed the checkered, I was 8.7. So I definitely would have been there to give them a run for their money while they were up there battling. But yeah, thanks to Mason and Richard was in the chat cheering on. Didn't make it tonight, but no big deal there. Yeah, just now I'm packing up the computer and we're going south for a week and gonna go down there. So just gonna just help that take my mind off this third place finish that in my heart should be a win.
Definitely. Well, those are the big ones, right? But I know to heading to Nashville, you're gonna give us a run for your money, as we always do. Well, sir, again, man, congratulations on the third place finish, and hopefully we'll be talking to you first next week in Nashville.
Oh, that's what I'm hoping, man. Hopefully it will be, and if not, top 3 again. I'll take them every week if I can't win one. So
hey, I love talking to you, Dylan. Hopefully it happens.
Yeah, me too, man. We'll see you. Thank you again.
All right, folks, that's going to do it for us here at Sim Racing Media with the Monster Energy Racing League, Monster Energy NASCAR Racing League. Again, like to thank our sponsors, W Energy and adminbox.com, and W Energy. Well, this is going to wrap it up. Let's go ahead and show our overall results, see where your driver finished here. Mason Thompson started in third place, finished first. Zachary Mertez second to second there. Starting the pole position, ended up being second in the end of it. Great run from those two drivers. Dylan Herbertson's going to be in third. Bill English coming in fourth. Curtis Ecker starting in fifth and finishing there as well. Then Mason Connors recovering from an incident. He came back to sixth, so very good job for Mason. Chris Isaac's going to be the first driver a lap down. Then we have Ryan Douglas, Andrew Tinold, and David Simcox Jr. looking up to Sim and heading home after a good points day with 10 drivers. This is what you need, folks, is just show up. And if you're not feeling it, park it and go home. It doesn't hurt nobody, and you get some points. So free points for those guys. Definitely appreciate them showing up. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for us here at Sim Racing Media and Monster Energy NASCAR Racing League. As always, talk to you next week.